Hey, welcome to episode 144 of the Content Creation Made Easy podcast. I've rebranded my podcast, and sometimes I keep wanting to say its old name, which was the Idea Space. But this is all about really focusing on content creation in a way that feels simple and easy for us. So, I want to tell you about a little fun I've been having with my content creator studio members, and I've been reminding them over and over again that their business, how do I say it? Your business is not an English muffin. So, putting content and marketing in the nooks and crannies of your life is not going to work for you. So let me ask you a couple of questions. Have you ever banged out an Instagram post while waiting for dinner to heat up, or recorded a YouTube video in the car at school pickup? Now, please don't get me wrong. These tactics are not a problem if you're seeing them as just kind of throw away one off tactics. And if you're not seeing this as your content marketing strategy. So I want you to be really clear. Tactics and strategies are different. And throwing out a post or sending out an email or doing a podcast every now and again, that is not a strategy, and it does not make an audience that's committed to becoming part of your fan base, right? We have to make room for content. We have to think about marketing, and just shooting off a random email to your list because I felt like saying this today, but they hadn't heard from you in 3 weeks, a month, 3 months. It's not going to get you the return on the investment of your time that you have been hoping for. Now, I know this is a crappy flavored pill to swallow, but if you want your voice heard, it really does take more consistency. If you want to attract an audience, and that's why people are in business. Like, I want to work with people who want to work with me. I want them to buy my programs, my services, my products. Then you need content marketing that consistently connects with your audience. Now, you already know this, right? Like, this is not news to you. But the question you do have is, how do you plan, create, and then publish with regularity, especially if you're one of the people that I love and work with very closely that tells me, I hate planning, I'm a rebel maverick, I'm a spontaneous kind of person, like my whole life is all about 1000% spontaneity. And I just want to be honest for a moment. I've met many, 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 many of those rebel mavericks who hate planning. And where they come to is admitting that they are frustrated as hell, that they just never get their content out there. Because honestly, what they have to say to the world is so good and so juicy and so needed. So, what's the antidote to this kind of frustration that you might have been struggling with? Whether it's like, I'm a rebel and I don't want to plan, and I believe really strongly that I need to be spontaneous or I have to give up my rebel card, or that you just don't know how to do this in an easier way. And so, let's talk about this. How do you make this your own? First of all, think about, what are the strategies you're using for marketing? What are your marketing goals? Do you know what they are? What tactics do you love? What don't you love? What don't you ever want to do? And this is the two places that you want to start. And then we've got to talk about what planning style will work for you. Now, there's two things that work against us when we're thinking about customizing our strategies, our systems, and our tactics. And the first one is that different industries have told us over and over and over again that there's only one way to do something, right? Like, buy this plug and play system and take it step by step and you will be fine. Now, I have seen from the inside that that is a complete lie. There is no system that if you do it step by step by step and you don't customize it, that it will work for you. We really have to. I mean, how many plug and play systems have you bought? How many scripts have you bought? I have spent a lot of money on this over the course of my business career, and I always have to customize it and make it my own. So that's the first thing. Let's like give up the lie that there is one right way. The second thing is, our brains are they seem to be seekers of the one right way, right? Because I mean, wouldn't it be just great to stop making some decisions and just get some stuff done? So maybe you even do this thing that I do, like when I've heard somebody's accomplished something that I want to accomplish, I'm like, tell me your way, tell me exactly how you did it. And I immediately start thinking, how can I start doing that right now? Because they've achieved the thing that I want. So I assume their way must be the right way, right? It's a way, it's not necessarily the way for me. Take the weight loss industry, for example. I mean, some people will tell you you can lose weight with keto. not the only way. And others swear by like going off of gluten and dairy and sugar, and that's the only way for them. Other people swear that Peloton is the answer. And then there's a whole movement really gaining speed that's just trying to get us to stop losing weight at all and love our bodies the way they are. Whatever your goal is, there is no one right way to get there. And I just really want to start with this idea because the same thing is true for content marketing. Yes, you already know that you need a content strategy. Like that's vital. And you know that you need it customized to you because I already talked about why we need to make it your own. But how do we do this? So that's where I'm getting to today. Well, again, we've got to consider your needs and your preferences because are you doing a couple of tactics that you really don't like? For example, maybe everyone is saying to you, you have to be on video. Video is it. If you're not on TikTok or Reels, you might as well forget it because that's the big thing. And let's get your ass in gear and get on board and make it happen. But you're like, but I don't want to do video. I just don't want to, right? So how are you supposed to show up consistently for in a place that you hate, doing a thing that you don't like that makes you super uncomfortable? You can't be consistent on a platform you hate. I don't care whether it's like I hate writing, but I have a blog and I hate the sound of my voice and I hate talking out into the void. So I'm not going to podcast, and I hate social media, but I'm going to get there. And I don't like sending emails, but I'm going to send some emails. Like if you actually don't like any of this stuff, we have to get started with the one that feels the most palatable to you. And then you get good at that. Like get your sea legs under you. Get really comfortable using a tactic on a platform that you can be consistent on. So yeah, sure, maybe it is video for you and maybe you really loathe video, but just choose one thing for now. Because if you're not putting content out there consistently anywhere, that is the first problem that you want to solve for. That is step one. Find a place to consistently create and publish. Now, not shockingly, this is literally the hardest, toughest thing for my particular brand of clients and the people in my audience, because what I have found, and it's really fascinating, no matter how much I teach, like the nuances and the strategies and the frameworks and all of the things inside my membership about creating great content, the number one thing that they struggle with is consistency. They're like, just tell me how to put something out there with regularity. And so literally I created a system that I take them through live every single month that helps them plan out next month's or even next week's content. And because not everybody wants to be part of a membership, and you just might want to do it yourself, I finally, hallelujah, finally created a digital version of this customized planning method that I take my studio members through every single month. So it's called the Batch and Repurpose Your Content Planning System. It's finally available to anybody who's looking for a personalized way to create a consistency system. And I created it so that even the most creative, spontaneous, rebel maverick can use it and make it his or her own. So it's 1000% realistic. I give you tons of examples. Remember, I used to be a high school teacher. Like my whole life is all about breaking stuff down, giving you examples, showing you the hows. And that's what I do inside this digital product. So it's a digital training. And I just wanted to tell you about it because if you're listening to this podcast, probably content creation is like your kryptonite. And it just is like, you're just like, I just want it to be easier. So that's why, first of all, I renamed my podcast Content Creation Made Easy. And second of all, I made a customizable system for you. It's $37. And I'm actually offering it to podcast listeners between today's published date and October 31st, 2021 for $27. Basically, it's a 25% savings as a huge thank you to you for showing up and listening or watching or reading any of my content. I do appreciate it. And your frustration is something that you don't have to live with anymore. I promise. So if you go to jenliddy.com/batch27, you'll be able to grab this until October 31st. Because if you take nothing else away from this, please remember, there is no one right way to do anything, including marketing, including content creation, but there is a right way for you. Your voice is so vital. It's so needed. What you have to say, I know it might not seem like it because it's probably just like breathing to you and it makes a lot of sense, but your audience, they don't get it. They need you. So it's time to show up for your audience, build your audience so they can buy your products and your services and your programs and get the help that they have been so desperately needing. Oh, and I knew I was going to forget this, but there are 3 bonuses that I think will really help you and that I've included in this planning system. The first is you basically are going to look over my shoulder and watch me repurpose a blog into an email and into many social posts. So that's a super cool, fun thing that I don't know, people love watching me do that. The second thing is a quick checklist of 5 things you can stop doing right now that'll make your content easier. But here's my favorite thing. It's the bonus guide that I've included because one of the things I hear from people is, I'm afraid I'm going to run out of content. Now, I know you will literally never run out of content because content is everything and everything is content. Everywhere I look, every time I have an experience, I'm like, this is content, this is content. But you might not know how to do that. So I'm teaching you how in the infinite content topics. It's basically, you will never run out of ideas again. And I show you how. So remember, you can grab all of this for $27 at jenliddy.com/batch27. And just remember one last thing. Your business is not an English muffin. And that's why content and marketing do not belong in the nooks and crannies of your life. I hope this was helpful for you, whether you get the planning system or whether you just take some of the ideas in here and make them your own. And I will see you next week. And as always, thank you so much for listening. Bye.